Summer Vacation from Hell Dark Web. Edition. In the sweltering heat of summer, right after our college exams ended, my friends Jason, Mike, Sarah, Emma, and I decided to spend our vacation somewhere different, far from the noise of the city and the boring hotels. We were looking for a cheap, quiet place where we could relax and have a little adventure at the same time. Jason, known for his obsession with secret forums and the dark web, suddenly said that he had found something incredible on one of the hidden sites. A summer house for rent, completely isolated in the middle of the forest, fully furnished, and offered at an unbelievably low price, with a strange warning in red letters at the bottom of the page: "Do not contact the locals. Do not leave the property after midnight." At first, we all laughed, thinking it was just a joke or some scam, but curiosity and the lure of such a low price pushed us to book it with him. We pooled our money together and agreed to go, completely unaware of the nightmare that awaited us. The drive to the house took about 3 hours. The road was narrow and abandoned, lined with giant trees and thick forest. The silence was suffocating. Not a single bird could be heard, and the air was heavy with the smell of damp earth and decaying leaves. Suddenly, the house appeared between the trees, a massive wooden structure with decaying walls, partially broken windows, and a rusty door. When we entered, we were shocked. Inside, everything was modern and immaculate, as if someone had just moved out yesterday. A fully equipped kitchen, neatly made bedrooms, and a large living room. But what unsettled us most were the tiny cameras in every corner of every room, their red lights blinking faintly. Jason joked that it was probably for safety or monitoring. Mike laughed, saying maybe we were part of a reality show. We tried to ignore it and laughed nervously, but an underlying feeling of unease stayed with us. That first night, around 2 a.m, we were awakened by the sound of slow, heavy footsteps in the hallway outside our rooms. I opened the door, but the hallway was empty. Yet the sound persisted, this time coming from upstairs, from the attic, which none of us had even noticed existed. We tried to open the attic door, only to find it locked with a heavy metal padlock. We returned to our rooms, uneasy, feeling that unseen eyes were watching us from above. The following night, Jason went into the small office in the house and found an old, bulky computer. To our horror, it turned on by itself, booting up to a live feed showing us in the living room, completely unaware that we were being watched in real time. Jason opened the files and found dozens of recordings of other people who had stayed in the house before us. Some clips were normal, showing groups laughing, talking, cooking. But others ended abruptly, with screams, or people running toward the doors before the screen went black. Emma screamed, saying this couldn't possibly be real, but none of us realized the full extent of the horror yet. On the third day, Mike discovered a small metal door hidden behind a wardrobe. We opened it and descended a narrow, cold, and dark staircase leading to a basement. The smell of mold and rotting wood was overwhelming, and the cold cut through our clothes. The walls were covered with strange chalk symbols, and the floor was littered with Polaroid photos of different people. Some of them smiled, others were frozen in fear. On the back of each photo, a single word was scrawled: "Sold." In a corner we found printed files with names, ages, physical descriptions, and next to each name a price. Sarah trembled and whispered that we were the next victims. We realized then that the house was not for rent at all. It was a human trap, and the dark web was part of a secret network that sold people. We tried to leave immediately, but the front door wouldn't open. The key broke inside the lock, and every window was barred, as if the house refused to let us escape. At exactly midnight, the electricity went out completely, leaving only the faint red glow of the cameras.
The computer turned on again by itself, and a cold mechanical voice announced, "Session 7 begins. Specimens are ready. Preparing for collection."
We could hear cars outside, footsteps on the porch, and the doorknob rattling violently. Sarah screamed that someone was coming. We ran in every direction, terrified. Jason tried to break a window but cut himself badly, bleeding heavily. Mike swung a chair at the door in desperation, but it didn't budge. I ran toward the basement, hoping to find another way out, but what I saw there made my heart stop. The glass rooms we had seen before were no longer empty. They were filled with shadowy figures, pale bodies with black eyes standing silently as if waiting for us.
The metal doors began to open slowly, and whispers intensified, repeating words I could barely understand, but all of them saying the same thing: "Take them. Next. Next."
Suddenly, I felt a hard blow to my head, and everything went black. I woke hours later in a hospital bed. I was told that I had been found unconscious on a dirt road far from the forest. My 4 friends had vanished without a trace. When the police went to check the property, they claimed it was nothing but abandoned ruins, with no furniture, cameras, or computers. Everyone thought I had hallucinated everything. But shortly after, I began receiving anonymous emails containing pictures of me sleeping inside the house, taken from the corner of the room. The subject of every email was always the same: next. It was then that I realized the dark web is not just a hidden network. It is a real place, full of traps and people who will never let you leave. The house we visited was not just a building. It was part of this network, a living trap connected to something larger and more sinister. Only one of us survived, but the horror did not end. Every message I received confirms that what happened to us was only the beginning.